like this, where the opposition, and I'm asking you a straight political question, an opposition which is full of so many inner political contradictions, Sanjay Jha, how do you deal with this kind of a scenario? Such massive amount of confidence being displayed by the government and such massive amount of distrust which continues to be displayed by an opposition combination which remains a ragtag coalition.
Bhupendra, I will try and answer that question, but I want to link it to the economic state of the country principally.
Okay.
I agree with you that the opposition is battling its own inherent challenges. Having said that, I do believe that this government has actually lost an opportunity. The last 10 years would be called as a lost decade. Look at one data point, it's very fascinating. When the Modi government came to power in 2014, they said we have inherited a very troubled economy. But the truth is they inherited an economy at 6.4% of the GDP from the UPA. That showed you that the green shoots were already there. And at the end of 10 years, Mr. Modi's government's average GDP is 5.9%, which is actually lower than what they inherited from the UPA. It clearly tells you that behind all the razzle dazzle and the rhetoric, this government has principally failed to deliver. Look at two very critical data points again. You have 57% of India's population being given free food grains for 5 years. Clearly, the numbers on poverty or just above the poverty line aren't doing good. The UNDP tells you that roughly 230 million people in India are living in extreme poverty. So Mr. Modi can talk about a highway or XYZ, but who are the consumers of these highways, right? People who drive SUVs, people who are driving in super fast cars. End of day, take an example of anybody who can pay a huge toll number. There are always going to be people who can afford it, who are driving their own private vehicles. And you look at the numbers of the number of people who own private vehicles in this country. The second point, inequality. We never discuss this item at all. I'm assuming everybody on this show right now is a very privileged corporate elite, definitely in the top 1% of India's income. A job of a government is not to make a business plan for the upper echelons of your funders, right? Your job is to really take care of the middle class, the unemployed youth, the farmers, the poor.
But
the
can I tell you?
which
But
is
Sanjay, my
51%
point
based
is,
in the rural areas
you
of
know,
this country.
all the sort of the commentary based on facts and data which you're giving, and Amit Goel here in our studios was pointing out that can be a case of half full or half empty. See, look at the spin. Now, the posts which are coming in, the messaging and the communication which is coming in, 10 years of Sonia Gandhi-led UPA government versus 10 years of Narendra Modi-led NDA government, 10 years of UPA reducing it to dishonesty and resorting to fraudulent means to save face, 10 years of NDA putting India on the path to best managed large economy in the world, dishonesty pushing 2013-14 payments of subsidies on oil and fertilizers as a reference, to the oil for food scam, to next year to artificially reducing the deficit, reduce planned expenditure by 80,000 crores again to manage deficit. I'm saying somewhere it seems that what happened between 2004 and 2014, A, because of the trust that people seem to have inherently in Modi, and B, because the opposition has not managed to get its act together, to put together somewhere all the blame for whatever has gone wrong, not over the last decade, but actually last 20 years, appears to be now getting stuck completely in the opposition. How are you going to deal with that scenario so close to elections?
Bhupendra, before I leave, I think that's a very fundamental question you've asked. I have no problem in saying publicly, and I've said so not once but several times over, the UPA and the political messaging. If you look back at structural reforms, the reforms that were brought in between 2004 and 14 have actually created the India which Modi is leveraging. People talk of direct benefits transfer, the Trinity Jam. That's a UPA creation. But at end of day, even a Manrega that has sustained this government in the rural areas is a UPA creation.
And yet the UPA is responsible for everything which has gone wrong. And yet the UPA is responsible for everything which has gone wrong according to the government, and that's where I think the trust versus distrust question comes into play. You're not managing to deal with this distrust problem that the opposition clearly has on its plate, Sanjay.
Yeah, Bhupendra, I will agree with you, and I think that is really the big challenge that the opposition needs to handle. If I look at the fundamentals of India's economy, the inequality, the number of people in poverty, record unemployment, I think the dreams of the young are dying. The farmers are in distress. Some people in India are very happy. I'm not going to deny SUVs ordered avocado on toast, fly abroad for foreign holidays every year, once or twice. I think they are extremely satisfied. You look at the consumer spending, the high end luxury people are really spending money. I mean, you have people here from different strata, they can give you the finer details. But the truth is that the pockets of growth in India are extremely granular and small. And I think
Inequality.
at some point, this is not a sustainable growth model, and it will tell you even politically that this will have repercussions.
All right,
I hope it
Sanjay.
happens in 2024 itself.
All right, Sanjay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thanks very much. But I thought that
Thank you.
avocado on toast was also a good dish at Bombay Gym, where where you probably would be going on multiple occasions. But that for another day. Mithali Nikore, well-known economist, also joining us live. Hi, Mithali. Good afternoon. Welcome to The Narrative. Welcome to this new program on timesofindiaonline.com, where we're trying to decode, make sense of all the numbers